Hey everybody, uh, Warrior Wolf here. Today's video is going to be a little bit long, simply because uh, I'm actually going to be doing an overview of multiple sclerosis, and I'm actually going to be reading from a resource from, uh, you really can't tell it's too bright, from the Mayo Clinic. I will leave a link to this page in the description. Um, but hopefully this will kind of start giving an idea of what multiple sclerosis is and what it does to the body. Um, Please excuse the bed hair. Um, I've basically slept for the last 48 hours, except for small bouts of getting up to eat, bathroom, different things like that. But from what the Mayo Clinic says, multiple sclerosis, or MS, is a potentially disabling disease of the brain and spinal cord, central nervous system. In MS, the immune system attacks the protective sheath, or myelin, that covers nerve fibers and causes communication problems between your brain and the rest of your body. Eventually, the disease can cause the nerves themselves to deteriorate or become permanently damaged. Signs and symptoms of MS vary widely and depend on the amount of nerve damage and which nerves are affected. Some people with severe MS may lose the ability to walk independently or at all, while others may experience long periods of remission without any new symptoms. There is no cure for multiple sclerosis. However, treatments can help speed recovery from attacks, modify the course of the disease, and manage symptoms. So that's one. I'm going to go and pull up another one. Let's see, that was that one. Go to another one through the Mayo Clinic, and I'll leave this the link for this in the description below. And that actually seems to be a link to a video by a Dr. B. Mark Keegan, guessing one of their neurologists. Basically, through the Mayo Clinic and other organizations, you can also find resources through the MS Foundation, the MS Society, as well as the Multiple Sclerosis Association of America. If you do have MS, like myself, like millions of others, there are resources, at least here in the States. I'm sure for those of you who are in Europe, Asia, Australia, wherever you're at in the world, I'm sure. Oh, excuse me. I'm sure there are agencies that should be available to help those of you who suffer from multiple sclerosis be able to get whatever you might need to help you with your daily life. There are there are different types of multiple sclerosis, and I will touch on that in another video where I will actually go in detail of each type. And if I'm not mistaken, and I might be, there are 4 types. There's relapsing, remitting, which is the slowest form, secondary progressive, primary progressive, and progressive. With progressive being the fastest developing form, the fastest progressive form. Those patients are really the ones who have it the worst. Now, another thing with MS that we deal with is some of us cannot physically handle or tolerate severe temperatures, whether it's cold or heat. And some of us, unfortunately, aren't able to handle either one. Myself, I cannot handle the heat very well. I get dehydrated very quickly. I become weak very quickly. I got one of those, what are they called? Military calls them camo packs. Basically, just a little backpack that has a water pouch, a 2-liter water pouch in it with a hose that comes over the shoulder, and you can use it like a straw, a giant straw. I have that. I also have a like a sports water bottle or sports bottle that I use if I go to the gym or whatever. But one thing we have to make sure is we have to make sure that we stay hydrated. We have to listen to our bodies, because for those of us like me who only has relapsing remitting, granted ours is the slowest progressive form, and I'm not sure about others with RRMS, but myself, most of my symptoms are with balance, with mobility, and apparently I get dehydrated very quickly, even if I'm steadily drinking water. I have a rather large cup of water in my room that every time I get empty, I go back to the kitchen and refill it. Those of you who are here in the States, there are people, are ways to get different devices to help. I know the Multiple Sclerosis Association of America have cooling vests. I have one myself that I got through them. And it's basically just a vest that has these blue gel packs type that you put in the freezer, get them freeze them, and they have both in the front and the back of this vest, they have little pockets to put those ice packs in, and you can wear it. They have some that you put on over your clothes. They've got some that you can put on under your clothes, as well as like a little neck thing to try to help keep you cool. The one thing I want to stress to those of you who do not have multiple sclerosis who do not know anyone in your life, a loved one, a friend, who does not have multiple sclerosis. If you see someone, whether they're young or not, and they're like at, say, Walmart, for instance, a young individual who's in a scooter, one of the motorized scooters, and they do not have a cast or a brace on their foot or their leg or any other visible sign of injury that using one of the scooters makes it easier for them, please don't judge that person. Sorry, did not mean to shake the camera. Multiple sclerosis is an invisible disease, meaning we fight it on the inside. You don't really see any outward evidence of the disease unless it's with an individual that it has completely taken away their mobility, or it's taken their sight, or for whatever other reason has made an outward appearance. This disease can surface in people as young as the single digits. This disease, there is no age criteria that a person can become affected by multiple sclerosis. A child can develop this disease. Although the typical age window for multiple sclerosis that when it usually shows up in an individual's life is between 20 and 40 years old. So think about that when you see someone that looks like they're just barely in their 20s and they're in a scooter. Think, okay, they don't have any outward reason why they're using it. I wonder what's going on inside. I wonder what difficulties they're having to deal with. Because just like the old adage saying, never judge a book by its cover, you really need to take that philosophy into mind when you're looking at anyone. Whether they're in a wheelchair, whether they're using a scooter, they're on crutches, no matter what. It's probably the hardest thing that those of us with MS deal with is not the disease itself, not the challenges that we face from the disease, but it's how other people treat us. They look at us that we're lazy, we don't want to do anything. And it's far from the truth. A lot of the times, like with myself, the past 48 hours, I have dealt with just severe fatigue. And I haven't really been active physically, mainly because of funds. But that's neither here nor there. But for whatever reason, my body decided I needed to sleep for the entire weekend. But sometimes it happens that way. But please just remember, try not to judge people. You see someone walking with a cane and they look fine. You see someone in a wheelchair or using a scooter, and for all intents and purposes, age, whatever, they look like they should be able to walk with no problem. Remember, there are diseases, not just multiple sclerosis, but there are other diseases that make it difficult, if not impossible, to walk. So, please, please, please keep that in mind. Like I said, I will leave a link to both the video and the link for the page, basically defining what are kind of an overview of what MS is. And I will go into detail when I find more pages, more links that kind of explain it more. And if I can find, or when, I'll say when I find videos that explain multiple sclerosis with detail, I will most certainly share those videos as well. If you like this channel, if you liked this video, if you thought it was informative, if you'd like to see more videos, not only to explain more about what multiple sclerosis is, but also once I get maybe a couple more cameras, more than just my laptop camera, my phone camera, or my one generic GoPro camera, which it's over there. And I actually begin my daily vlog. Please subscribe. Please, please, please share this video and share this channel with your social medias outlets, and help me to get the information out. Help me spread the awareness of multiple sclerosis and what we as MS warriors deal with and go through. So for now, I'm going to say good day, and as always, never give up, never surrender.